Hey folks, it's Pat here, back with our Let's Play of Carriers of War in the Battle of the Coral Sea. This is the second video in what might prove to be a multi-part series, or it might be the last video. I'm not quite sure. It just depends on how today goes. Just to set up the scenario again, remember the Japanese are coming out of here, out of Rabaul. They're going to bring in an invasion fleet around the Horn here to come invade Port Moresby. We've got the USS Lexington, the USS Yorktown kind of sitting in the way right now, and that's kind of the point. Because we decided to go after the transports rather than the carrier, rather than the carrier group, and they do have a large carrier group somewhere up in here. That's the Shokaku and the Zuikaku, and the plan is to kind of stay away from them as much as possible. Now we'll see if they cooperate. But the plan for today is pretty straightforward. We had all kinds of sightings up in here. We're going to position ourselves fairly close to that and try to do as much damage as we possibly can in the morning. So here we go. I think I said in the previous video that carrier combat's like heavyweight boxing, and our objective today is to land the hardest punches that we can on his weakest elements, and hopefully that'll even things up a little bit, or at least maybe it'll drive him off and he'll decide not to actually invade, and that'd be great because I think our objective, as far as we're concerned in this one, is to prevent any Japanese boots from hitting the ground in Port Moresby. But we might have to fight those carriers too, and so if that happens, we'll be in a little bit of a weaker position because with the attacks that we'll probably launch today, they might chew up our carrier group, our air group a little bit. Let's go in here and see what's going on. So with our flight operations, what I want to do with flight ops today is pretty straightforward. We'll still leave one of these two Wildcat squadrons on cap. Let's peel the other one down and actually get that one gassed up and ready to go along with our Dauntlesses. My objective today is to hit the first thing that we see. That way we can get multiple strikes in one day, and hopefully it'll also keep that Japanese transport fleet busy. And if we can prevent them from all bunching up and just pick off the ones that we can, then I think we'll be in pretty good shape as far as the rest of the day goes. But that all depends on how fast we can get some search planes out here. But if we gas up some of the planes before dawn, then we should beat them to the punch as far as a strike goes. As long as we spot something. And hopefully we spot something quickly. Hopefully we spot something quickly. Or not, I don't know. So we're all bunched up along this little reef down here. I do kind of want to stay a little bit out of range. So we'll kind of skirt around in this area here. I know most of the time carriers want a little bit of sea room, but there we go. Sightings. Finally, let's go ahead and break that. See what we got. Ah, that's that baby carrier probably. What's up here? Two capital ships. That might be Shokaku and Zuikaku too. See how far those guys are. So he's 240 miles and he's 240 miles. That one says it's a carrier. I don't think that is close enough to send our Wildcats. They gotta be 180. So we gotta do a 180 here. And get just a bit closer to him. Let's do that. And let's pour on some gas while we're at it, shall we? And we'll just have to update a little bit, but we got to close that distance because that's the carrier. There's no way we're sending a strike group out there without at least one squadron of fighters to escort them. They do need that if they're going to go after a carrier. Wow, and that sighting has not updated. So there it goes. Let's see, notice that it moved a little bit, and we get this little blue panel right here. That means that that one's been updated, so let's go take a look at it and see what we got. Now it says it's capital ships. Man, I wish you guys could get your story straight. Check out the weather here. Yeah, we're sailing in the clear and he's in a storm, so that just sucks. Alright. Let's just inch a little bit closer. Give it another hour. We got to get a strike off probably in the next hour, otherwise we won't be able to get two out today. Oh, he just jumped a lot closer. Let's go ahead and break that. See what we got. Man, I really wish that's that little carrier, but looks like that's going to be a surface group. I don't know where that carrier is. That looks like a surface group too. All right, well, we got to hit something, so let's hit this while we're at it, shall we? 160 miles. Send everything you got. And you know what? I mean, if he's going to come at us piecemeal, we might just let him do that. And we might have to go find Shokaku and Zuikaku here later in the afternoon. If that's a surface group, yeah. You know, that's not a bad target, come to think of it, because we got a surface group as well. If we go out there and blow the crap out of these guys, then we might be able to turn around and... Oh, whoa, lots more sightings all of a sudden. Let's go ahead and check some of these out. Sightings. That's still surface group. Big carrier group. I don't think they have 4 carriers, but that's probably Shokaku and Zuikaku. And if that's the case, that's good, because they're way out of range of us. What is this? Yeah, not quite sure what that is. And I bet you these guys up here, that's going to be our transport fleet. Yep, there's our transport fleet. Just spooking around Rabal up there. That's okay. So if this is the advanced element, and if it's a surface combat group, and if we can blow them up, we might be in good shape. Yep, surface cruisers, the Aweigh. Come on, boys, put some bombs on them. Come on, man, put some bombs on them. So... there we go. We got a full flight group right now. There, thank you. Getting a hit on the Aweigh, but right on the fantail. So a couple miss. Come on, another hit. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a good fire. So Kako. So that's 2 heavy cruisers. That's a miss. Come on. Level bombing. Devastator level torpedo bombers dropping bombs instead of torpedoes. That's because they were too far away. I think if it's more than like 80 miles. There we go. There's a hit on the Furutaka. I think that's 3 unique heavy cruisers, and the Kinagawa, that's 4. So, got at least 4 heavy cruisers here. Come on, boys. Come on. I know that's not your normal... Yeah, there we go. Good fire on him, too. Come on, boys. Come on, don't miss. Oh, man. Come on. All right, Dauntlesses. Dauntlesses are going to be our workhorse here, and hopefully they can hit these guys a little bit more. Come on, boys. So, they're not chewing up our air group too bad, though, so that's always good. We got more coming in. Come on, more Dauntlesses. Yeah, Furutaka needs way more hits on her. Come on. It's just got one little fire. They're going to put that out. There we go. They got 2 fires now. That's better. So, come on, boys. Hit. Devastator torpedo bombers. Level bombing. Come on, man. Kako doesn't have a scratch on her. Let's fix that, shall we? Here we go. Come on, boys. More bombs. This is almost a perfectly good flight group right here. Come on. Oh, man. Come on, I want to dish out medals tonight. There we go. You get a medal. Whoever you were. All right, Devastators. Come on, boys. Come on. Nah. Not getting too many hits here. So, I mean, they're splashing around them. So, see, notice you got 4 splashes right there. That means that entire group was able to make a run. Here's the Aweigh. It doesn't even have a hit on her. There we go. He has it burning right on the bridge. So, red alert, Captain. Oh, look at this. They shot down a couple of our Devastators. So, those are not survivable planes. Come on, boys. Dauntlesses are much more durable. Much more accurate. You know, I say that, but... obviously, that's not the case. Come on, man. One more hit. There we go. Medal for you, boy. Kinagasa, yeah, we need a couple more hits on her. Although I've come to expect less from my Devastator squadrons here. Hey, what was that, guys? You just decided not to bomb them? All right, whatever. All right, so we'll sit here and recover our flight group and see how badly chewed up they got. Now, that surface group looks like he's interested in us. So let's go ahead and break this here. And let's get out of here, shall we? So again, in this scenario, we're going to play it kind of safe, at least for a bit, until things kind of develop. But if we can take out some of his more powerful groups, and this one with 4 heavy cruisers is pretty beefy, then I'm pretty happy with that, actually, because we do need to watch out for these guys out here. That's got to be Shokaku and Zuikaku, and the little baby carrier's around here somewhere. I'll have to find him, too. But we'll see what he decides to do. Oh, see, we got a strike coming in. I bet you that's land-based planes, too. But anyway, with this Hobart group, since we got a heavy cruisers here that are perfectly fine, we can try and engage them in some surface combat. I don't know if that's a really good idea, depending on how beat up those heavy cruisers are. So let's just have these guys support, which means they'll kind of trail behind our carriers and kind of cover our 6 while we head west. And let's see, land-based planes coming in. What do we got? We got Nels bombing the Yorktown. No. So I'm not too worried about land-based planes, but if there's a full flight of them, that's not good. Yeah, if they get a lucky hit on one of our carriers while we're recovering planes, that's really, really bad. Dang, I didn't think they could reach us this far. That's really far. These are Bettys. Again, you saw those yesterday. Bettys are really dangerous if you're too close to their base because they can actually launch torpedoes at you. These guys are just bombing us, but man, I'm glad they're missing so far. Knock on wood. Here's the New Orleans. So notice we got some cap up that's shooting at these guys a little bit. So even if we're not chewing up their carrier air group, oh, there's a lucky hit on the Portland. Jeez. So even if we're not chewing up their carrier air group, we're going to chew up some of their land-based squadrons too. You know, General Brett can thank us for that later. You know, when he's not getting bombed in Port Moresby around the clock. Oh man, no hits on this thing. Oh God! Oh, that sucks. Man. Hopefully that's just a scratch, but you never know. Especially since she's recovering planes right now. You better not get hits on the legs. Oh, come on. That's 2 hits. At least that one didn't have a fire on it. But the problem is with aircraft carriers, they're your heavyweight boxers. If they take a hit or 2, that's all they can really take. Because the worst thing that can happen is they'll close your flight deck, and then it's not a carrier anymore. It's a freaking barge. We're just going to have to see how bad it is. Man, that really pisses me off. I didn't think they'd be able to reach us this far. Ah. All right. Let's go check it out. Substantial damage, but the aircraft, the flight deck's still up. USS Lexington took some slight damage. Let's go check that out. That just stinks. Yeah. So, looks like the Yorktown, yeah, there's no fire, so she's going to be alright. Lex, no fire there, so she's going to be alright too. Alright. Okay, that could be worse. I mean, it's not great, because it means it's going to be harder for us to launch and land planes. Looks like we didn't lose any of those fighters, so that's good. Lost a couple of those Dauntlesses. But not too bad, actually. So, these ones down here, damage level 1 and 2, you know, most of those will get repaired. The ones usually for sure. The 2's not so much. Maybe. Check this one out. This one got a little bit tore up here. Oh, this one got, yeah, that one lost a lot of planes. And then, of course, they've got all their Devastators there, too. You know, we could launch one more strike at these guys here. It's 1540, so we got, what, about 3 hours of daylight left? We might as well get some payback here while we're at it. And now we can, of course, launch torpedo planes. So maybe we'll just do that. Send out a few dive bombers. We got only 5 of those available. 9 of those. Yeah, what the heck. We'll just do it. Our air group here is a little tore up, but I want something for this, for our efforts today. And they're not too far away, so this will be a pretty quick strike. Well, not 5 minutes quick, Pat. Come on, dude. But I think it gets dark at, I want to say it's 1800, so, or it might be 1900 when it gets dark, so we got a little bit of time here. Maybe. There they go, finally. So they're going to come down here and chase us. We're going to make you pay. See, look at that. The Kako got all the fires out, so this was actually a good idea. We'll see to that little fire problem that you had. Now these guys are going to launch torpedoes, and hopefully they're a little bit more effective. American torpedoes in the earlier war were just absolutely terrible. Not that one, thankfully. But, you know, and combined with this plane, the Devastator torpedo bomber, which is just a death trap for its pilots. Fortunately, these guys are right over the horizon, so they can probably see their carrier from where they're attacking. And that gives them more time to maneuver and actually get decent hits. So the Kako takes 2 torpedoes. Come on, can we get a third? Can we get a third? Can we get a third? Come on, we want a third. Oh, okay. Well, it's alright, I'll take 2. Looks like 4 more making a run on her. So, let's see if we get some more hits here. Yeah, let's hit the seaplane right there. Oh, no, let's not. So, but with a much shorter range, here's the AO, but they got all the fires out too. Mr. Dauntless, you're going to have to do something about that. Mr. Dauntless, you're going to have to do something about that. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, but notice that some of these planes are getting a little tore up. So that's 2 hits on the Aoba. That's good. And here's a full flight of Dauntlesses. Come on, boys. I just want you to plaster this thing from stem to stern. Start with the stem. That's great. So let's move it on. That's not miss. No misses. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. It's got a big old gash right in the side of it. All right, you're going to let the torpedo bombers do your job. And look at that poor American flyer right there. So I'll have to send a destroyer out to go pick him up. So, come on, get another hit. Yeah, right there. Oh. So Aoba's Furutaka has no damage. There we go. And you just hit him right in the same spot twice. Just like, you know, punching a guy in a gunshot wound. Kinagaza, got the fires out. Come on. Going after the destroyer. Yes, because it's the high value target. Come on, one more hit on the Aoba. There we go. Thank you. Medal for you. Sure, let's put some torpedoes into it while we're at it. Still daylight, so I think we'll get all those birds back without much of a problem. And then, of course, let's do something a little bit different now with this Hobart group, which is our surface group. So what we're going to do is we're going to up their speed, and we're going to order them to find this enemy task group, which is a capital ship of 4 ships, so we might have sunk one of them. So these guys will try and run them down and engage them in surface combat, and there we go. So when you get surface combat, this panel right here lights up, and you get to do a little bit of tactical work in this game at this point in time, because, oh, we didn't sink any of them. So this is the surface screen, and you don't issue orders to individual ships, but you issue orders to different groups. And so this is a surface group right here, so it's got 3 different components. It's got the Vanguard, which are these guys up here, the Line, which are going to be the 2 heavy cruisers, the Chicago and the HMAS Australia, and the Rear, which I think is just another destroyer. And depending on which one you select, you issue them different orders. So close means get closer, and so that's what I want all of them to do. And this is one of the times where you can actually go in here and check the damage on these guys. And wow, some of these guys are pretty tore up. So we'll see if he decides to stick around or if he decides to run away. He's going to try and run away. So that's what those arrows there right mean. A couple of those ships were able to flee, but some of the other ones, not so much. We got one really damaged heavy cruiser right there. And unfortunately with cruisers, they don't have the range of battleships. If we had battleships, we'd already be in range. But with cruisers, we're not in range until we hit this double blue line right here. So if he sticks around one more time, we'll be able to shoot at him. Yep. This is going to be a turkey shoot. All right, HMAS Australia, do your stuff. And once they're in range, you get fire orders down here. You just click on whatever you want them to shoot at. The individual ships will pick their own targets. And so this one, it's pretty easy because there's only one target. Australia fires and hits, and Chicago fires, and that's a hit. And she doesn't fire back. That's great. So each ship shoots a single salvo, and once they calculate that for each ship, then the battle moves on. Now, he's close enough at this point in time where I can shoot at him with everybody, so I'm just going to tell everybody to kind of sit tight. But we'll have our rear and our van both shoot at him, and our line can also engage him with their secondary armament. So they're smaller anti-ship guns, and so we're just going to plaster the AOPA here. In fact, the HMAS Australia does the honors. And so that's surface combat in a nutshell. We're going to have that guy kind of do that overnight, and we're going to take our carriers, and we're going to go with our original plan of trying to bunch up against the Australian coast and see what he decides to do tomorrow. Chances are Shokaku and Zuikaku might come down our way. And so since our air group's a little chewed up, what we're probably going to have to do is make sure that we get as much help from General Brett as we possibly can. Now, it's nighttime right now, and I still have this group on orders to find those guys, but it's dark now. And so the range should be a little bit less, but it's not always. See, they're closer this time. And it looks like another one of their heavy cruisers sank. So they got 2 and 2, and so we are now numerically superior. And let's see if he decides to fight or tries to run away. I think he's not close enough for us to be able to hit. So we're going to have to play this game here a little bit. See if he actually manages to run away. If he doesn't run away, we can pick off his ships kind of one by one. Or if he keeps trying to run away and one of them can't make it, like this, then we can just slowly whittle him down. And HMAS Australia and the Chicago are getting in some licks here. So a little bit of revenge for the bombs that you guys put on my carriers today, which fortunately did not put our carriers out of commission. Now, it's still pretty early in the evening, so as the night goes on, yeah, that range actually gets lower and lower. Now, they might give us the slip, too, because we do have to kind of watch them at night, and I don't think any of those ships are radar-controlled. So we'll probably run this for a little bit, and if we catch them in the middle of the night, that's great. If we don't, then HMAS Australia and the Hobart are going to have to bug out of there, but it looks like we found them again. So here we go. See, they're pretty close. Well, closer, I guess. Maybe it's a moonlit night. I don't know. Let's see if we can actually catch some of these guys. Nah, they got away. So, and that's frustrating stuff. But now, at least the contact is still good for a couple more hours. So they'll steam around there and try and find them. And meanwhile, our carriers will continue to retire to the west. And yeah, we'll have to think about where we're going to put them. Right now, I just kind of want them dinking around. Let's go ahead and reduce some speed here, because I don't want to get too far away from the Hobart either, so I can get everybody to kind of bunch back up in the morning. But let's see if the Hobart can actually find those guys one more time. That'd be pretty cool. There we go. We found them, right? 5 minutes after midnight. Here we go. Oh, wrong group. No, wrong group. And see, notice they're a lot closer now, so they're really going to have to try and run away from us. Which, of course, they will. Yep. Because they do not want to fight us anymore. And this is fortunate because I think the HMAS Australia is probably the strongest cruiser we have. If he manages to stick around one more round here, we'll actually get some shots off on him. No, dang. But again, the contact's good for another hour. Let's go ahead and run this for a little bit just to see if we can find him one last time and see if we can get that distance just a little bit closer. And now we are in firing range in the very beginning. So let's just go after him, shall we? Because if we can sink this task group in the beginning, in the middle of the night, that's great. There's a hit right off the bat. Come on, Chicago. That's 2 hits on the Kinagasa. And so he's going to try and run away. Now, at this point in time, I don't think any of us are close enough to be able to hit him with both primary and secondary batteries here. So we'll just go after the heavy cruiser. If you have to find that little destroyer again later at night, that's not a problem. Because I think right now is when we can probably shoot everything at the Kinagasa. Yep, sure can. So everybody's going to shoot at her. And that'll pretty much wrap up the day for us. There we go. HMAS Australia does the honors. Thank you. That's a fighting ship in this game. So anyway, I think we'll stop it right there and kind of rethink our strategy a little bit for the next day. We made it out this day with destroying an entire cruiser group, but unfortunately we took 2 bombs on our carriers and chewed up our own air group a little bit. We still got a Japanese baby carrier spooking around here and some transports up here that are primo targets. But Shokaku and Zuikaku were lurking around over here by Guadalcanal today. And that might be a real concern. But we did manage to do what we set out to do. We took a bite out of them today, and we'll be back for more tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Take care now. Bye.